Who are the 4 greatest actors in history? Man, that's a tough freaking question. There are so many amazing thespians who have given us so many memorable roles throughout the history of cinema, and in turn furthered their art and influenced pop culture. So, through research and of course personal opinion, the first head on that mountain was nominated 8 times for an Academy Award, won twice, was nominated 6 times for a Golden Globe, won 2 of those, and even won an Emmy to boot. I'm talking about Marlon Brando, the actor's actor. He's one of the most influential actors of all time. As director Michael Winner once put it, before Brando, actors acted. After Brando, they behaved. He burst out into the world stage in 1951 with his iconic portrayal as Stanley Kowalski in A Streetcar Named Desire, a role in which the 27-year-old would get a Best Actor nod for. A succession of Best Actor nominations followed in 52 and 53 until he finally took the Oscar home in 1954 for his portrayal as Terry Malloy in On the Waterfront, which, by the way, he used as a freaking doorstop. An Oscar as a doorstop. That's crazy, especially when I consider that my mom still has all my high school basketball trophies on her fireplace mantel. Anyway, and On the Waterfront, Brando uttered one of the most famous movie quotes of all time. I could have been a contender. Brando's given us so many quotes and images that would become classics. His white t-shirt wearing Stanley, his long sideburn motorcycle jacket wearing Johnny and the Wild One, and of course, I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse, Don Corleone in The Godfather, the role which revitalized his career and won him his 2nd Oscar, for which he infamously refused to accept, by the way, in protest at the treatment of Native Americans in film. So The Godfather not only helped revitalize Brando's career, it also pretty much put the next actor on that mountain on the map. With 8 Oscar nominations and winning 1, 15 Golden Globe nominations and winning 4, 3 Emmy nominations and winning 2, and owning 2 Tony Awards, Al Pacino. A student of method acting with a genuine love of the theater, Pacino began his early days on the stage. In 1969, he won his first Tony Award for his Broadway debut. It didn't take long for movies to follow. In just his 3rd film, the relatively unknown actor was cast in the very much sought-after role of Michael Corleone in The Godfather, a job for which he was famously almost fired from. See, the studio executives didn't even want him to begin with and felt that he was the wrong guy to play the part. It's hard to imagine anyone else now donning the Don. His flawless performance as a celebrated war veteran turned ruthless mob boss is one of the greatest characters in the history of cinema. The Godfather would give him his first Oscar nomination, and much like Brando, Al Pacino would be nominated for an Oscar 4 consecutive years in a row, starting with The Godfather in '72, followed by Serpico, The Godfather Part 2, and Dog Day Afternoon. Unlike Brando, he wouldn't take any of those statues home, yet. His penchant for gravitating towards the anti-hero roles gave us another all-time movie character, Tony Montana in Scarface. His often imitated character remains a cultural icon to this day, and of course he delivered one of the most famous movie lines of all time, "Say hello to my little friend." Pacino brings an intensity, humanity, and truthfulness to every character that he plays. He was going to win an Oscar eventually, it was just a matter of when. He had 2 more chances at the statue when he was nominated twice in the same year. One for a supporting role in the ensemble drama Glengarry Glen Ross. The other for Best Actor for his turn as blind alcoholic Colonel Frank Slade in Scent of a Woman. So in 1992, 2 decades after his first nomination for The Godfather, Al Pacino would win Oscar Gold for Scent of a Woman. Marlon Brando played Al Pacino's daddy in the first Godfather. The 3rd face on that mountain played a younger version of Marlon Brando's character in the sequel. With 7 Oscar nominations and winning 2, 9 Golden Globe nominations with 1 win, of course, it's Robert De Niro. His work in the 70s is inspiring and has influenced many an actor from that decade and beyond. Starting in 1973 was a pair of films, Bang the Drum Slowly and Mean Streets. His next role would nab him his first Oscar nomination, playing a young Vito Corleone in The Godfather Part 2. He'd win, making he and Marlon Brando the only actors to ever win an Oscar for playing the same role. And De Niro was just getting started. He followed The Godfather by giving the world one of the most iconic movie characters of all time, Travis Bickle in Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver. De Niro gave us one of the most memorable lines in all of movie history, "You talking to me?" A line which was not in the script but improvised out of the actor's mouth day of filming. One of the ways De Niro prepared for the role was by obtaining a real cab driver's license and actually picking up New York passengers in long 12-hour shifts. He came out swinging in the 80s portraying boxer Jake LaMotta in Raging Bull. De Niro famously packed on 60 pounds to play the later boxer's years. He trained with the real Jake LaMotta and also fought in real boxing matches, even winning a couple. I think that means that anything that Robert De Niro would have wanted to do, he would have been good at it. Lucky for us, it was acting. His legendary films and iconic roles are actually too many to name. From The Untouchables, Goodfellas, Cape Fear, all the way up to his last nomination in 2012 for Silver Linings Playbook, De Niro is without question one of the greatest actors not just of his generation, but of all time. And speaking of all time, the last actor on that mountain holds the all-time record for Oscar nominations by any actor, male or female, with a staggering 18 nominations and winning 3. She also holds 2 Golden Globe records, 1 for the most nominations with 28, and 2 for competitive acting wins with 8. She's also got 2 Primetime Emmy Awards and a whole slew of other accolades and awards. It's Meryl Streep. Her second film would garner her first Oscar nomination playing opposite both Robert De Niro and Christopher Walken in The Deer Hunter. A year later, she would be back at the Oscars, this time giving her acceptance speech for winning her first Academy Award for Kramer vs. Kramer, which she famously left on the back of a toilet during the award festivities. From the mid-70s to now, Meryl Streep has given us 40 years of incredible characters in drama, comedy, and musicals, from film, television, and stage. From her debut film to this date, she has appeared in 51 movies. Out of those 51, she's been nominated 18 times for the highest award possible for acting greatness and achievement, the Oscars. That means that roughly 1 out of every 3 Meryl Streep performances captured on film get nominated. Some very good actors never even get an invitation to the show. She's such an influence and inspiration to her peers that a recent study showed that in the past 12 years, Oscar winners have thanked Meryl Streep more than God in their acceptance speeches. Meryl Streep is a true chameleon, sometimes completely unrecognizable in a part. She'll quite possibly go down in history as the greatest actress of all time. So there you have it, the Mount Rushmore backing: Marlon Brando, Meryl Streep, Robert De Niro, and Al Pacino. Don't forget to subscribe to Gong's channel, and if you don't agree with my 4, let me know by leaving a comment below. I'll leave you with a quote by Marlon Brando: "Regret is useless in life, it's all in the past. All we have is now." See you next week when I carve out the Mount Rushmore of pro sports athletes.